this stuff prepped. Grabbing everything I need to grab. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Weekend, happy Sunday, Saturday. If you're overseas, it's probably Sunday. Or it might be still, I don't know, Friday maybe? Oh, the world's a weird place, man. What a weird place. But after I use the bathroom, we're going to talk tools. We're going to talk tools. Just have a little chill stream. Talk some tools. I don't know, maybe get into something. But, yeah, for the time being, I'm just grabbing some stuff upstairs real quick. You can hear me because I got the mic on. Welcome addition to the setup. Got myself a little phone camera, mount, tripod, Joby thing. Some DJI wireless mics. It's made quite a bit of a difference. Trying to keep the lighting good and just trying to get better quality overall. I'm really excited to where we can take this channel. Looks like we already got some chatters. Who is here? Diamonds. Diamonds, welcome. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I really wish I could play music and have my chat open at the same time. Would be very nice. But I don't think that's a thing. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Let's see. Maybe if I... Nope. Looks like I have to have... Looks like I have to have one or the other on. Do I do music or do I do chat? So what do we got on the agenda today? Hail, brother, how you doing? I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Just picked up some stuff, some interesting stuff. Now, looks like the camera needs to probably be pulled over a little bit. I need to have it sitting at a different location, but I think it's okay there. I just need to move over. So we did end up picking up some stuff, and I've been doing some videos on this, but I thought I'd just talk about it a little bit on stream as well. What's up, Easy? How you doing, buddy? So yeah, so we spent $191. Okay, we spent $191, and we got 4 pairs, 4 pairs of Knipex pliers, and that is a bullet that I don't know that many people are ready to bite. All right, 4 pairs, guys. This is a little expensive, you know. We got the Pliers wrench. We got some 5-inch Cobras, some 7 1/4 inch Cobras, I believe. Yeah, 7 1/4. And then we have some twin grips, which are obviously the most talked about ones of them all, I think. As far as for people who use Knipex, they really say that these are the game changers and the go-tos. So as far as what we got going on, that's kind of what we got going on today. I just maybe give you guys a little sneak peek of what we're talking about today, of what the videos are going to come out. I got to make them. I made some of them, but I still have to edit them, and I'm not a fan of editing, guys. Not a fan of editing. So in similar fashion, you know, we're going to grab some competition out of the box. And I believe these are, yeah. So okay, so one thing I want to talk about really quick before I kind of get distracted, because that's usually how it goes. First off, I gotta right off the bat getting distracted. No, but my screen keeps locking on here. Let's see. There's got to be a way to do this. All right, so I guess I'll just tap the screen or something. That'll be annoying, but it'll get it situated. So Doyle only makes down to these guys, which, let's see if we got a tape here. This is important, okay? This is important. And don't judge, this is the closest tape I have right now. So I don't know where Knipex is measuring their pliers to exactly. I'm guessing from, yeah, okay, so that's 7 1/4 from tip to tip here. So tip to tip, it's 7 1/4. Okay, so that's 7 1/4, and this one is about 7 3/4. Okay, actually, yeah, it's a little over. 7 7 7/8 for a good measure. Maybe the handle slid down a little bit, but anyway, these are the closest competitors that you can get. My girlfriend, she's working right now. She is working. So those are for a little separate talk there. So as far as for these water pump pliers, these are the smallest that Doyle makes, and these are not the smallest. That's one thing about Knipex, is where it comes in clutch, is that you can get, okay, I really got to fix this, but you can get pliers that are 5 inches. You could probably even get smaller ones than these, but these were the smallest ones I saw. They only had a few options there. They didn't have really a huge lineup, but to have these is really cool. I like small tools. Really, really like small tools. So the one thing I will say, though, these Knipex pliers right here, $35. I'll have to check. Those ones were $35 for these 5 inchers. Okay, so that is a $35 pair of pliers. Is it really a $35 pair of pliers? I don't know. I mean, you got 1 inch and 1/16, and then they're small. Yeah, so like I don't really know exactly what you're gonna be using these on, unless you got to get into a crazy tight space. But I just really like small tools. It goes perfect with like my stubby, stuff like that. This to fill out the little U.S. General box. Stanley Cup, you said. My collar blue, but my neck is red. Working like a dog just to keep my family fed. Sipping on energy drinks, Marlboro Reds. Yes, this is true. Hi Jay, how are you doing? How's everybody's night going today? We got 15 people in the chat, so if anything, if you guys have any questions, you just want to chat, if you want to just hang out, whatever, but I leave it open to ask any questions you guys want, and just hopefully we can have a fun little time here. There's nothing crazy about this stream that's going to be different than anything than what I normally do. But I didn't really have too much planned. I definitely just did want to talk about a couple things here. As far as the pliers are concerned, I wanted to kind of show you guys comparing apples to apples when it comes to the Knipex knockoffs versus actual Knipex. And a little bit about the pricing and kind of where things sit. So I do love Harbor Freight as well, Andrea. That is why I do these type of videos, is because I would like to show, for example, I guarantee I have a Knipex fanboy in the chat. There's one of you guys is in here, and they're a fanboy. So first thing I have to say, right, before we go into the twin grips and before we go into anything else, right, Doyle goes down, so you have these two. You also have the big kahooners. We got this one, and we have the soft jaws, which you can leave in the same kind of areas. These aren't the same. These aren't the same tool, but these are the same size. What I'm getting at is the smallest that they make, okay, is this right here, which is 7 and 7/8. Or I mean, it might be a little bigger than that, but who cares? 7 and 7/8 is the smallest that Harbor Freight is currently offering. Okay, you said only thing you have to accept that all Harbor Freight tools may eventually become a hammer. Okay, here's my issue with that. No, because of a lifetime warranty. So, since the lifetime warranty is so good, there's no reason. Actually, you're right. There is a reason to turn it into a hammer because then you can get to your warranty sooner. So, yeah, I mean that's a good point actually. But okay, my big thing, right, is that since they don't offer something smaller than this in the water pump pliers, Knipex already has a point. They already have a point ahead of Doyle. Now, where Doyle wins a point, okay, where they win a big fat point is the pricing. So the pricing on these water pump pliers was $38.19. I got them from Menards, and I didn't know that Menards would even carry these, but they do. That's a crazy thing to find there, I feel like, because I never had been to a Menards and end up going to a Menards, seeing that they had a bunch of junk tools. There's also a couple other things that aren't junk, but I will say that, man, you definitely got to go there for. And I was walking by and I had talked to I talked to one of the guys that was working there and I said, hey, like, um, what do you got? What are you guys? And he's like, well, the best I can explain it is we're a Lowe's slash Home Depot slash Sam's Club slash Walmart all in one. Like they sell food and they sell Knipex. Like it's really a weird. Like they have frozen pizzas. They have a whole frozen section. It's a weird place. I'd never been there before. I grew up in Arizona, so I'd never seen a Menards before. I don't know if that's um, a normal thing. I don't know if maybe if I had a Menards and I just never been to one. I don't know. But these Knipex pliers are $38. Okay. These Doyle pliers, I do not know exactly how much they cost. I think maximum these ones cost $20. These might be 20. I think these ones are 22, and I think these ones are 25, if I'm not wrong. But Harbor Freight as well as I know Harbor Freight, and $20 is not what you're gonna get these for. You're gonna get them on sale. So for me personally, I got these on a 35% sale, which brought that down to, let's see if I can do this in my head, $13 for these guys. So these cost $13, roughly, right? Ron Swanson would call it a food and stuff. Yes, I mean that is what it is. It's a food and stuff, but they also have Knipex, which is really really cool. And this is gonna be really hard because, like, I bought these with the intention that I was going to review them, and I was going to decide. I was going to decide. I was gonna sit down and I was gonna decide what I'm gonna do. Okay, if I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna keep them, if I'm gonna durability test them, what I'm gonna do, because the channel needs funding, right? And if I cannot fund the channel going forward, I can't. Like right now we're not in a space where I can spend $200 on 4 pairs of pliers, and ruin them or whatever, and then just call it a day. So I have to figure out, like how I'm gonna budget things out. And for Menards specifically, this is something that you guys might need to know about Menards, but anything that you buy is what they told me, right? Is anything that you buy from Menards, you can get an 11% rebate if you mail in your receipt to to them, I guess, and then they'll send you like a rebate, and you can get 11%. So 11% off of 38, but I think it's store credit. So technically, you are saving, but you have to spend it back at Menards, and it gets a little hairy. But how do you subscribe? Honestly, I mean, you just hit the subscribe button somewhere on the channel. I don't know exactly where it's at. Kenny, Rolex while reviewing Icon and Doyle and Knipex. My man's a legend. Yeah, man, I like my watches. I like nice things. I like nice tools. So, yeah, so here's my thing, right? I'm gonna do like a little review of both of these and kind of talk about the pros and cons. If you guys have any questions or anything like that along the way, feel free to ask, and feel free to just chat. It's hard for me to. I'm a riff kind of guy. All right, I like to riff off of people, and Kenneth, absolutely, I agree. Briefcase is one of the best YouTubers. See, diamonds. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. That is what I'm talking about. What are you gonna do to that up dog? Um, you know, I don't know. So, what's up, dog? But here's I'm gonna hit this vape a little couple times because I'm a nicotine fiend. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna throw a pouch in, guys. If you guys are nicotine fiends out there, you probably might know, nicotine pouches or whatever. These are my personal favorite brand of nicotine pouches. They are juice heads, and they are very strong. But either way, they're tasty. They're not like Zyn where they just kind of taste like not much. But these also come in 12 milligrams, so they are horse tranquilizers to the people who don't use nicotine. And okay, so my thoughts about these two. Let's get these guys out of the frame real quick. My thoughts about these two, okay? So, fit and finish, Doyle takes a dub. Doyle gets a +1 for fit and finish. I know that might sound a little goofy, but if you can see, which I don't know, let me see if I can zoom this in here. Thank you guys for all the likes. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I don't know if I can zoom this in, so maybe I can just come up close. So the fit and finish right off the bat, this is not really the best close-up, but this is a lot more porous. I don't know if these are forged and these are, I don't know. I really don't know. But just based off of looking at these, the fit and finish, I'm actually going to give it to the Doyle. All right. The $13 pliers versus the 38. And so that's a win for the Doyles. Okay. The price is also a win for the Doyles. The button, that's going to be a hot topic on this discussion. I like the big button. The big button is nice. The action on this is easier to use than the Knipex. And, it'll probably wear it over time or whatever. But overall, the Knipex are lighter. And the grips are nearly identical, I'd say. You're both going to have, a finger in kind of an awkward spot here in the front. And the other notable differences are going to be this has a spring on the outside, and this has an internal spring mechanism. And then the biggest difference, I would say, is going to be the sizing of these. Okay, so this right here is going to be a considerable difference in width versus this. Let me pull out. Man, I really need to get some new calipers. But this is about 3/4 of an inch, and this is about, I think it's about a quarter. Looks like about a quarter. Yeah, so we got about actually, no, there's no way. This is, yeah, quarter, and that's at 3/4. Yeah, so that's like, that's a decent chunk difference, okay, between these two. The Doyles are heavier. That's just something that you gotta you got to know it's slightly heavier. It's nothing crazy or anything. It's not bad, but it's a little bit heavier. And here, this is another hot topic. The jaws. Man, I really wish I could zoom this camera in here. I can. Look at that wizardry. All right, so the jaws. This is gonna be da dun da dun da 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 da. All right, another triple light action here. The jaws on these. We'll put them both in the closed position here, and these jaws will not fit this little hex, whatever that is, wobble, 4mm wobble. I don't know. I got this at Lowe's for $1. If you guys haven't seen that, they're doing clearance, a bunch of Craftsman stuff. So this was $1, and I got 2 of them. Thought this was a little wobble, but it wasn't. Grabbed 2 of them just quickly. Anyway, this will go all the way through. I don't know the exact difference in here. Maybe I could find the calipers. Probably should. Grab me my calipers, and you're gonna laugh because my calipers are the crappiest calipers you can possibly get, and they're these ones, the Pittsburgh ones. But yeah, they're these things suck. These things really suck, and I need to get better calipers. It's gonna be difficult to measure this distance here. So this is like at 0, and from the biggest to the biggest, this is about, I guess that's in millimeters, so 2, 4, yeah, so 4. Anyway, I'm not gonna measure this out, okay? We're not doing that. Anyway, these have a slightly smaller jaw, okay? Now, when it comes to holding a bolt, they both will hold a bolt considerable. I will say this one probably get a little bit more leverage on just because it's already got a little bit gosh. Okay, I gotta go zoom back out here. Sorry guys. Stream malfunctions. That's absolutely goofy. Let's get to about right there. All right. So as far as the gap here, it allows you for smaller fasteners to have a little bit better grip if it's really small stuff than this if it's going to be open further. That's the best way I can put that. Now, when looking at the jaws, they are super, super similar. It's hard to even really compare these. They do both open up, and the Doyle has a slightly bigger opening capacity. And closed, they are identical. And let's see, what other notable differences are we here? We got Germany made. We have Taiwan, I believe. I'm going to have to say that the hardness of these are going to be better. These are probably going to last longer. Now, on that note of longevity of your tools, does it really matter if these last longer? If you could buy 3 pairs to 1, roughly? That's my thing. Plus, these have a lifetime warranty. The lifetime warranty on these, you can snap them in half. You take them back to Harbor Freight. They're going to give you a new pair. This, I believe you're going to have to mail them in. These are slimmer. The Knipex are slimmer by far. In all aspects, they are just slimmer. They are nicer in the hand than the Doyles. These are just my personal preferences, personal takes from this. So you said Let's see. Dang. 12, 12 milli delights. The spring is why I like the Knipex more. I'm going to go buy some tiny screwdrivers at Lowe's. And then I wish Knipex made a larger adjustable pliers wrench. Do they not? Is the 10 the biggest, or is the 12 the big? I don't know if the 10 or the 12 is the biggest. But as far as for this, let me wrap this up really quick. Okay, so we have a smoother handle here. Okay, I actually like the Knipex feel better in the hand than the Doyle. The slimness of the head here, where the actual button is a big win for Knipex. The jaws are smaller. That's a win. And if we look at the slop from factory, there's a good amount of slop. Okay. On these, there's also a good amount of slop. Really hope that the lighting is okay. Hope that the lighting's okay. Is the lighting okay, guys, or do I need to do something else here and add more light? So final thoughts, right? The final thoughts on these two products. If you could get these Knipex on a sale, some crazy sale, and these come down to, $20, $25, I would just get these. I would go for these. You probably are not going to be upset. I would be happier to have these in my box than the Doyles because of the things that I mentioned, the slimness, the weight, the grip is stickier on the Doyles than the Knipex. And these just feel better in the hand. And being slimmer, I mean, you're going to be able to get into tighter, like, engine bay areas and grab onto weird bolts that you really need to get off, or whatever it is that you need to do with these. They're not just for water pumps. That's a big misconception. I mean, obviously, that's what they were initially meant for, but the overall fit finish, these are just better. The casting, or for whatever these marks are on the Knipex, that's an L. The price is an L, so it's a toss-up. So here's my final thing, right? If you have the money to spend and you're willing to spend it on a pair of pliers, and you're spending 38 bucks on a pair of pliers, get these. If you are on a budget and you're getting your first set of tools and you don't know where your finances are kind of sitting and you need to kind of ball on a budget, these all day. But if you cannot get these on sale, okay, if you can't get these on sale, I would not get those. I would get these. Just spend the extra, what is it, another 20 bucks, 18 bucks, something. Get the Knipex. You won't be disappointed in these. These, you won't be disappointed in either. But overall, you're not going to have any buyer's remorse with these after they sit. I will say something about these tools. You can just tell that the quality is lower. The jaws they're set slightly different. It's minute differences, right? But when you compare them, here's one other thing, right? When you open these up all the way, I don't know if I already told you guys this, but if you open these up all the way in the very first position, the Doyles open way bigger. So I don't know. As far as for water pump pliers in this specific size, I think the Knipex have the win, but that's just with price out of the factor. If you had like 3 pairs of these versus 1 pair of these, I'm going Doyle. It's really dependent on what you're going to use them for. And if you need to be doing really, really precise work, then the Knipex. If you need just a pair of pliers that you're going to beat up, go with the Doyle. That's for these guys. So if you guys have any questions about these guys, that's pretty much sums it up. If there's anything else that I missed, best of the best, Knipex, best of the best. Yeah, once you use it, you'll never go back. Trust me. Yeah, I mean, realistically, like, they're good tools. I don't think that they're not good tools or anything. I'm speaking specifically on the fact of people that are in hard financial times or their first tool set or whatever. If this is your first tool set and you don't know if you're going to be wrenching forever, just get the Doyles. They're going to do the same job. They might not do them as great, you know, you might spend a little longer, but you're going to be also able to go get McDonald's for one of the, you know, lunch hours or whatever versus this. And realistically, the difference is kind of substantial, you know, $38 versus 13. But if it's $38 versus 20, that's a little different. You know, but it's still almost 2 pairs to 1. So there's that, okay? So that's my final thoughts on these water pumps, these 7-inch water pump pliers from Knipex and from Doyle. Next up, we are going to talk about this right here. We're going to talk about this guy. All right, so a 5-inch water pump plier from Knipex. This was also $35. Yes, $35 for this, okay? Doyle does not make a 5-inch water pump plier, so you're kind of forced into going with something like this. Knipex being the best, I would just go with Knipex. I don't know that you want to be messing around with anybody else's warranty. The reason that I talk about Harbor Freight so much and why the Doyles even come into play is because of the warranty through Harbor Freight. That's the reason, not because they're superior tools by any means. If you know, Doyle pumped out an entire line from, you know, 4 inches all the way up to like 30 inches or something nasty, you know, something insanely big, you know, I would say Doyle, you know, has more of a run. But for these specifically, I would go Knipex because buy once, cry once, and, you know, you're going to have a pair of tools that last you for life. These are made in Germany, not Thailand or wherever the heck the other one, Taiwan or whatever the heck. Yeah, so I would recommend going Knipex on those guys. Now, on this note, we are going to talk about these guys now. Here is probably the most feuded pair of pliers. What is this? Cobras? No, these are twin grips, and then the twin grip knockoffs from Icon. I don't know exactly what these are called from Icon. Buy once and you'll smile throughout. Yeah, I mean that's. Hey, how you doing, Decker? That's you know, hey, smiles per gallon, or you know, you burning all your gas. It's just how you look at it. It really depends. Now, initially, okay, when I've had these just came later, but it's initially I bought these and I was in love with them. Absolutely in love with these pliers. I was like, man, these are so great. I can't imagine them being any better, right? Well, then I got the Knipex and I went, no kidding. They got better. Okay. Interesting. First thing I'm going to talk about is price. Okay. Price on the twin grips are $38 for these guys. They're 8 inches, and these look to be basically the same. I'm going to say, you know, 8 inches across the board. And we do have pliers wrenches. Yeah, those are up next. So those are going to be up next. We're going to talk about those next. So these guys, everybody talks about how much better the Knipex are than the Icon specifically. Now, the biggest difference I can tell you right off the bat, this is not me just, I've had these for months running, okay? I grabbed these, and I was like, man, they're great. Then I grabbed these, and I went, huh, interesting. Why does that feel so much better? And that's me being completely honest. Okay, $38 for these, 20 for these. That's not on, these are both non-sale prices. $38 for these, 20 for these. I did get these on sale for 35% off, so, you know, it comes down to like 13 bucks, which makes a lot more sense. Actually, these might not be just 20 bucks. These might be a little bit more. Not really sure. You say, yeah, pliers wrench, baby. So the reason that I say, oh, wow, what the heck, the Knipex feels so much better is because of these grips. Now, initially, I really loved these grips from Icon. I always said, I was like, man, who cares about Knipex? Why would you care? It doesn't matter. The grips from the Icon are really good. They feel really good. But then you pick up the Knipex, and it's just slim and slender and feels just right. I don't know how to explain that. That's so crappy of an explanation. But look at the difference in the amount of handle that is put on the icons versus the Knipex. That's the reason. Because these bulge your hand out considerably more, and these feel like you already have full grip strength on these pliers. These, unless you got massive, massive hands, these feel good, but they don't feel this good. So that's first and foremost. These do slip around a little bit. These, they do not. They're on there. Now, are they as comfortable? Not necessarily, but feeling good in the hand versus comfortable and usability, the Knipex take the dub on that one. What are you guys saying here? Told you once, you go Knipex, you'll never go back. everybody's on the Knipex hype, okay? And I'm saying it correctly, okay? It is Knipex, not Knipex. I thought it was Knipex for the longest time. It is not. It's Knipex. I thought I, had a little bit of German in my blood. I don't. Okay, Knipex. And so second thing I'm going to talk about is the width of these guys. Now, this is an interesting one. Okay, so the actual heads of these, the jaws, the icon is slightly bigger. But then we get down to the button, and the button is way smaller on the Knipex than the icon, which that can matter. But what I will say is that this space right here, this little bottom of, this screw to hold this spring in tension, sticks out the other side, which gives us a little bit more bulkiness. So they are very, very close. If you look down them like this, they are very close. Now, as far as jaw quality is concerned, we do have differences in the jaws. Hopefully I can get this on camera properly. Actually, I'm going to do this. So I didn't know that they opened up this big, which is cool. I don't know what you would ever need to grab something that big for, but, hey, if you need to grab something like this, cool. But open them up all the way. The action, I can tell you right off the bat, the Knipex feel better. That's just the way it is. The Knipex actually open up bigger. They have more of a span than the icons do. And the jaws are a little different. The icons have a wider surface, but I don't know if you guys can see this though on camera, but this right here is slightly smaller than this right here. Very, very minute, but it is there. And from this tip of the jaw to the bottom of the jaw, we're looking at a slightly different. It's so minute. I mean, these are very, very, very good clones. They're very good copies. The jaws are very similar, but I don't see that you would have any issues with either of these if you were to buy them. It is just very preference based. But here's another thing. Con on the icons, okay? The icons have a issue with they literally just been sitting in my box, and I use them probably, I don't know, 5-10 times, and then they sit in the box. Okay, this right here is a no-no. That is rust from the humidity in my garage, and they're literally withering away by just sitting there. And I wouldn't expect that from these. I don't think that these would do that. I don't know. Maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. What's up, Sheba? Your mom would pick Icon. Why would what? Uh, can I get some double taps? Yeah, can I get some double taps? That'd be sweet. I'm betting Knipex have a much better heat treatment. Yeah, they just look like they are more refined. Now, I will say, like, the actual finish, I don't know if they took off more material. It looks like they took off more material on the Icons than they did the Knipex, but the finish of these, you can see how porous this is. This was kind of a sign. I was like, that's weird. You know, why does the Icons look better in that regard? You can see that the jaws look slightly different. You have a little bit bigger opening on the Knipex this time than the Icons. And on this, they are, I mean, nearly identical. What we're going to talk about right here is the play, which they have on the Knipex a very, very minute amount of play back and forth. Very minute. I mean, they do hit the handles. They hit. You can hear that. You can hear this on the Icons. But it's you know, it's noticeable. It's noticeable that there's not that much play compared to the other ones, and that's probably about as far as I can push on both. And the Icons have more play. Okay, that I mean, I have used these. I haven't used these as much, so these have a lot more use than these. But as far as quality is concerned, when utilizing the button feels way better. Like overall, okay, overall, I'm just gonna give you the nuts and bolts. The Knipex just wins. Like that's a dub for the Knipex. And I know that that's obviously the consensus from all the people out there who use these tools on a day-to-day basis and everything, but realistically, here's a most unbiased opinion. I know that I'm a kind of a fanboy for Harbor Freight, but I'm not really a Harbor Freight fanboy as much as I am a price fanboy. Okay, I like prices, and when you have more adjustment ability in the Knipex, that's a better product. That's something that I don't feel like most people talk about too much, is that this right here is in their most open position, and this right here is in their most open position, but you can see that there are more options for adjustments, which will make sense for, you know, some random thing that will need that option. Does it really make that big of a difference? Not necessarily, but we have a difference in your spring, and on the Icon it's the same as the Doyle. You have a little bit different, you know, look to the actual finish, but weight wise, the Icons are considerably heavier this time, like by a good margin heavier. Now, the realest question that I can tell you, okay, it's back to the same kind of thing where, also, guys, did I miss anything? I mean, I know the buttons obviously are bigger, right, on the Icons, but did I miss anything that you guys are, you know, wildly like, hey, you know, you missed that? I think this is kind of talked about pretty well. Let's say, you know, the jaws are, that's the difference in the jaws. What else can I say? I guess this has like an open bar design where this does as well. This has a little screw. This doesn't. Let's see. The others looked rugged. Yes. So okay, that's a good point. So the Icons, they do, like, this is a like, I don't care which one wins, guys. I don't care which one takes the cake. The Icons are more finished. Now that might just be because they want to try to one up Knipex, but this looks like it needs to be taken down a little bit more for them to be a little bit more of a polished look. That doesn't matter for actual quality of material, though. I still think that the hardness of the Knipex is, I mean, I don't know if you could hear that, but I'm not going to touch either one of them. That there's a sound difference in literally tapping. You can hear how much tinier the Icons sound. Now, That could just be because of, you know, how these are spaced and whatever, but realistically, okay, if you can get these on a sale and they're $13 versus $38, that's where we really get into the toss-up, okay? It's really like Snap-on versus, you know, Icon or whatever. Like, this is in Snap-on territory for Pliers, right? But buy once, cry once. If I was going to buy these without knowing the prices and I just wanted to get a pair of pliers for my shop, I'm going Knipex. If I have to be money conscious, I'm getting the Icons. And overall, you're going to have a great set of pliers, whether you go Icon or whether you go Knipex. They're still going to be great because obviously Icon is just ripping off all the big name brands. But the Knipex, you're overall going to have a better experience with, and probably not going to have to warranty as fast as you're going to have to warranty the Icons. The handles, that could be a make or break. That could be something you either really like the Icons or you really like the Knipex. It's a feel thing. You know, I really wish that they would have these both able to feel. You can't really feel the Knipex. Actually, yes, you can. You can, because the box they come in, they hang out the bottom. So you can grab the handles and feel the handles. Feel the handles, the Icon, and feel the handles of the Knipex, and tell me which one, you know, you would prefer. And then, you know, not everybody's a millionaire, so they're not going to be able to just buy all Snap-on tools and all Knipex. They're going to actually have to pick you know, Icon, or you're going to have to be money conscious sometimes. You know, it's not like everybody's got money, you know, out the wazoo. The only reason I even have both pairs is because I'm doing tool reviews for you guys. Let's see. See what you guys are saying here. I'm betting the Knipex have a much better heat treatment. Yeah. Let's tap out here, bro, with a double tap action. The Icons look sleeker. Is the part bolted down for structural integrity? What do you mean by that, Diamonds? The others look rugged. It's like wherever Stanley. Yeah, that's a better explanation. What's up, Oliveria? So Knipex 10% better, but almost 300% more expensive. I'd rather have 3 Icons. Yes, okay, so that is a very good way to put it. You could get 3 pairs of these pliers to 1 pair of these pliers, and you're probably having about a 10%, maybe you could argue 20%, with the way that, you know, the way that they feel, right? Like, they're both going to do the same job at the end of the day. I think that if we put these both in a tech's hands that are skilled, they're going to get the same job done at the same time. I don't think that either of these are going to improve or not your time in doing a job, unless it comes down to some craziness where, like, the button or the width of the actual tool is too big to get into an area or something like that. But realistically, if you're using these, you probably have space for it. And yeah, like, overall, I would like to have the Knipex in the box, but I mean, for $38, that's not really, that's before tax, by the way. So yeah, you are literally at 3 times you could have 3 pairs of these. You could buy one for yourself, one for your dad, and one for your other box, and still just have one of these. So that is a giant thing to consider. Now, the other thing to consider is the warranty. I mean, I know I harp on this so much, but I'll harp on it again. Okay, you snap these in half, you walk into Harbor Freight, you get a new pair. That's insane. At, you know, a third the cost, like, these ones are probably, even with the handles the way they are, if I don't like the handles so much, I mean, then cut these off. Cut them off and then plastic dip them. You know, if the handles are that much of a booger. But I don't really think that that's the case. I think that, you know, these are just manufactured better, you know, and also these are the initial people who made these pliers. They're going to have these more refined. These are copies. Okay, so moving on from the twin grips. If you guys have any more questions about the twin grips, we can address that. Just ask them and I'll get to it. We are going to go to the pliers wrench. Yeah, and you could literally swap. Yeah, exactly what you're saying. Swap the handles. And I can see you're already getting some love. So these are unopened. These are unopened, and these are I've done pull-ups with these ones. So let's talk about. Oh, actually, I did forget something. Okay, I did forget something. When using the action of these, the action feels better on the twin grips than it does on the icons. And you have more adjustability. I know I said that before, but they feel better on the Knipex. Okay, moving on. So we have the Icon 10-inch pliers wrench, and we have the Knipex 10-inch pliers wrench. Let's bust into this thing and see what we can come up with here. I do like their easy non-theft prevention packaging. Makes it pretty nice to get it out. So okay, first impressions. This is an interesting one. Okay, first impressions. Very similar. Very, very, very similar. And first and foremost, now we have a flipped. The Knipex pliers wrench has a considerable better quality than the Icon. Looking straight off the bat, the finish of it is better all around. Now, I will say these pliers wrenches are, what did they charge me? $67.90 for these pliers wrenches. Oh, goody. Pull-ups? Yes. So you literally, yes, you can do pull-ups off of these because when you grab onto a fastener or a metal bar, for example, when you grab onto a fastener, all you have to do is press on the back of the handle. I know I have to grab from both sides, but you just press on the back of the handle and it does all the weight. So you can literally just grab on the back of the handle and do pull-ups off these, which is phenomenal. They both have a smooth jaws. I mean, these are, again, these are going to be Icon, Harbor Freight ripping off a company that is tried and true of the Knipex. Let's just get a shake test really quick. Let's see what they sound like shaking. Okay, right there, Knipex are tighter. I have done pull-ups off these, but I don't think that really changed too much. Now, this is where it gets really similar. Very, very similar. Our Knipex has a smaller grip, right? But that is not as noticeable, I would say, in the hands because these are considerably slimmer on the Icons than the other pairs that we've seen. But these do have a smaller grip, and it forms to your hand a little better than these. These are a little bit more bulky. These kind of just feel like you're grabbing two bars that are parallel versus these actually form fit to your hand. That is a big tell right there. Ripping off the other company, charging too much money for the same tool. Ripping off is the other company charging too much for the same tool. Okay, so that's a yes. I would say I agree, but I also would say that the research and development that went into these tools, and the way that these tools were manufactured. I mean, you can see like how far that Harbor Freight went to the lengths of actually copying their design right here. I mean, you can see the same exact cutouts. Like, is that necessary? No, that's not necessary. This right here, they didn't do that on these, but I mean, it's very similar. I mean, there's very slight differences. These actually look like they have a higher tooth count. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and count the teeth on these than the Knipex. But the fit and finish of these right off the rip are the Knipex are the better pliers. Just off the fit and finish is what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're better yet completely, but as far as for width is concerned, I mean, they are very similar. The button on the Icon is just a hair bigger than the Knipex. Lifetime warranty on Icon. I do believe that the Knipex is also lifetime warranty. I don't know. You guys could correct me in the chat, but the warranty is going to be easier on the Icon if you break them. which that's just a kind of a given at this point. The jaws in the first position, we have an opening. Let's see what these look like here. I'll probably put them down here to actually see. Okay, they're nearly identical. Maybe the Knipex is slight. Nah, they're identical. I'm just gonna say they're the same. When it comes to big differences, right? The first things that I'm seeing are the actual difference in the jaws here, the size of the jaws here. They kind of cut down on some material. I don't know if that was what that's for, if that's just for weight saving purposes or whatnot, but they cut down some material here where the icons didn't. The back bars here are protruded, actually. They protrude out the back on the icons, which is not something I noticed in any of the videos that I'd seen. Of here and here, these are flush with the jaws, and these are raised versus the jaws. Now, what else we have to see here? The casting, you can just see like this is porous. This is more refined. They cut out some material here and here. And end of the day, it boils down to how much you're willing to pay. Okay, so here's something that you guys are saying. Okay, now these are retail $42 right now. $42.99 is what I believe that these are at from Icon. These are $67.90. Are they worth the extra money if you're paying retail? You're obviously going to know that these are going to come down 30, 35%, maybe 40%. You could get these, to come down. Are they worth it? That's the real question. Now, the actuation feels smooth, considerably smoother than the icons. They both have a smooth jaw. The biggest area here we can see is this is in the closed position, and the icons have a slightly smaller, actually. That's a considerably, about an 1/8 of an inch, maybe a 1/16. Maybe a 6. No, that's an 1/8 of an inch for sure. That's an 1/8 of an inch of a difference right there. Now, what else? What else we have to see here? Okay, this is recessed. This is not. This is recessed, and this feels better in the hand. The icon feels better in the hand in the most open position. I know you probably wouldn't be using these in this position, but the actuation does, like, these don't feel as good. I will say that. They don't feel as good as the Knipex. These feel way more refined. Now, this goes from 12 to 52. Let's see what this has on it. Now, oh, okay, that's a big difference. That's a pretty big difference. So now this goes to 12 to 50 on here, but the laser engraving or the etching that they used, I mean, the Knipex just takes a huge win right there. You can't see what the heck you're looking at when you're looking at the icons, but these you can see very clearly. You can see the teeth are sharper, they're more refined. This is just better made. This is a better made tool. It's more expensive, and it demands that price for a reason. Okay, I understand why these are more expensive than these. Now, they're both expensive tools, I will say, but the reason that they're more expensive is they're replacing 3 tools, okay? They're replacing all 3 of these tools in one tool, and they are 1,000 times better than using these pieces of crap, okay? These are garbage. Nutso garbage compared to using pliers wrenches. These, like, I want to throw them in the trash. I'll need them eventually. But to even compare, they're not even the same tool. I mean, like, they are, but they're not. Now, having a pliers wrench will change your absolute life. They are very cool to use. Let's say you needed to, let's say this bolt is something that you need to take down or whatever. You're gonna do this. right here. You're going to get to that length, and now you have yourself an extremely firm grip. You can go open one more, and then you can grab very tightly here, and that's not going anywhere. The jaws themselves are smooth, so it's not going to mar up any of your surfaces. And the jaws look like they are, let me see if I can get a good angle of this. Actually a little bigger on the Knipex, which I didn't expect. Usually Icon tries to go a little bigger, but they're both smooth jaws, and overall, the Knipex are nicer, okay? But are you willing to pay the extra, what is it? I don't even know how much it could possibly be. I just got a text and it said it was a scam. I don't know what that meant, but what's up, Acolyte? How you doing, man? There's no need to pay that much on Knipex, but Icon has lifetime warranty, less money, and it can do the same job. I agree. I agree to an extent. Okay. Now time will tell on these two tools. These are going to be made out of the same material for the most part that these are. I would assume they're coming probably out of the same factories. And right there, like you can see the amount of play that is here versus there's a good amount of play there too. I guess it comes down to what you're willing to pay for, why you want to get the Icon versus the Knipex, or why you want to get the Knipex versus the Icon. If you can get the Icons on sale, I would just get the Icons. I don't see the big enough difference here to be like, oh yeah, you know, they're gonna fail you when you get the Icons. I mean, they're both amazing tools, and if I took money out of the equation, I'd probably go with Knipex just because they feel more refined, and they seem to be a nicer quality tool. I like the grip better than the gripping of these, but realistically, it is not that big of a difference between these two tools, guys. Hold up, go to Lowe's right now, and you can get an 8-inch plier wrench for like $26. Yeah, okay, yes, you can probably go to Lowe's and get a pliers wrench for $26. Is it Craftsman? What is it exactly? Klein. Okay, interesting. I might have to check those out. $26. Now the Icons will be down to that price roughly, you know, when you're on that 35% off, 40% off sale. I wouldn't buy these on not on sale, right? I would just get the Knipex. If they're not on sale and you need these pliers, go with the Knipex. Like just get these ones. You'll be happier in the long run than the Icons. These probably you won't have to warranty. I'm gonna guess they're not gonna have to be warrantied out. But if you had just these two pliers in front of you and you needed to pick which one you're gonna go with, if you can get these on sale, I'd say go with the Icons, and if you can get these on sale, I'd definitely say go with the Knipex. These ones are not as big of a difference as the other ones. Now the lettering here is way more refined on the Knipex, but when it comes down to it, it's so similar that it's not even a competition, honestly. Just saw you have a nice watch. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I love the 30% off. Missed it a month ago. Yeah, the pliers. I've tried to push that really heavy out to everybody, but it looks like you're sticking to Milwaukee. Hey, I mean, if you want to stick to Milwaukee for hand tools, like that is probably going to be the most unpopular opinion. I haven't seen that they've come out with much of anything to talk about like that is wild for their hand tools. Now, what they are coming out with that everybody does like are their sockets. I don't have any sockets on me to show, but I would really recommend grabbing some of their socket sets. Actually, Torque and Twisted, he has a video. If you need 3/8 sockets, okay, if you need 3/8 sockets and you need like a master set of 3/8 impact sockets, you can get them for $89 right now. But go to Torque and Twisted's YouTube channel, and he has a video posted where you can go through his channel to support, you know, blue collar guys. And you go through his channel, and he has the link all set up already for you. So I would really recommend going with that. Knipex Cobras. Which ones are the Cobras? The Cobras are these guys right here. German Knipex. Um, yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the Knipex pliers that I've kind of talked about here. We kind of talked about, you know, the Knipex and the Doyle. We talked about the Icon and Knipex twin grips. The, you know, these, they call these water pumps, but they're technically Cobras. Now, one thing I didn't pick up and I would like to review is these guys. I only have them via Icon, and I know, but they didn't have them at the Menards. But these guys are, I believe these are called Raptors from Knipex, and these guys are very cool. As far as for rounded off fasteners, you know, this is something that can get you a rounded off fastener off. These, I don't know if they make these in other sizes, but as far as for getting off rounded off fasteners, these are very cool. I don't know if these are necessarily like the best pliers out of the bunch. I think those would have to go to the twin grips, but to get off rounded fasteners, these are pretty cool. You can grab them in a variety of different ways, and these ones just came with the 35% off from Icon, so it was a no-brainer. Picked up these ones. We have quite a bit of other pliers to talk about. If you guys wanted to talk about pliers, we have quite a few. Now, these guys right here are what I would consider very cool. These are your twin grip esque knockoff Knipex because they have this little groove so you can grab fasteners straight forward. And they have, you know, a pistol grip style function so you can get into these really tight areas. Like you need a screw right here, for example. Let's just take this bolt, and you need to get this bolt out, you know, and it's sheared off. You can grab them like this and, you know, go to town. You can also grab a fastener, you know, by the side if you needed to. I don't know why you wouldn't just grab another pair of pliers, but if you need to get into crazy areas, like these are pretty sweet. And again, you know, Icon, they have this lineup. And if you go with a bunch of Icon tools, let's say you have a few fail on you. Cool, great. You go back to one place and you get it all done same day, you know, as long as they're in stock. My favorite plier that Icon makes, though, is not any of those. It is these, actually. These are the favorites, and I will be getting the snap-ons because the Icon doesn't offer them in the smaller form factors. These are 9-inchers, I believe, and these guys are absolutely bonkers. They are very, very cool. Love these things. You can pick up stuff by, you know, like they did do it with like a penny, but I mean, you can grab stuff at like super weird angles because of the way that the pliers are designed. And I would say if you don't have a pair of these, you probably aren't going to get a pair anytime soon because they get in store and they sell out like immediately because they're that cool. Uh, as far as needle nose, I mean, they replace your needle nose and they give you more functionality if you want to grip fasteners this way. If you know, if you need to grab a bigger fastener, you can grab it, you know, by opening it up to the multiple positions. These ones, as far as these versus the snap-on, I don't think the snap-on have this where they kind of offset the jaws, which kind of frustrates me in the middle position. I think that's a machining error on their part. Once you go back to the third position, it does go back to normal. But you're normal here, and they're even, but they're not even here. And that really irks me. I don't like that at all. So, let's see. Let's go to these guys. I forgot something about these guys, and I wanted to see slop. Look at that. Look at that. That is a fresh out of the package Knipex. Look at the slop on that. You know, is that a make or break thing? No, but I mean, it's interesting when these pliers cost as much as they do. I'm surprised that they have that much slop. So, what do the icons look like? About the same, actually. Considerable. Maybe even a little less. I don't know. But overall, if you're going to ball out on a budget and you need tools and you need good tools, but you don't want to spend a ton, wait for the Harbor Freight sales, and I'm gonna be on it, guys. I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna pump these sales out as much as I possibly can. Okay, and uh, let's see. Tran, you said hi. I don't know what your language is. Welcome into the stream. You have so many pliers. I love pliers. Ralph, you said Knipex is the best. What is your favorite pliers? If you're in the chat right now and you guys are one of the 94, what is your favorite go-to pair of pliers that nothing can change your mind on, and like those are the best? Now, I don't care if they are I don't care if they are needle nose. I don't care if they're anything. What are your favorite pliers? If I'm gonna have to choose one pair of pliers out of all this mess, okay, I know it might be a weird one, but I'm going with these needle nose. If I had nothing else, right, I'm going with these needle nose. Doyle also makes these right here. These are pretty cool. These soft jaws, so you can grab, things you don't want to mar up and get a good grip. These have quite a juicy adjustment. Maybe you're grabbing pipe and you're doing piping. You're not gonna rip it up with your jaws. And then if you in a pinch, if you did need to get in there and you needed to use those jaws, you can actually just take these out. These are Phillips, and you can pull these rubber pieces out and just use these as like a open jaw. Maybe maybe you need that. Maybe you're working on like some galvanized pipe or something, and you need to take those out. You can do that. So that's pretty sweet with these. And then as far as the sizings are concerned, if you are looking for, let's say, just one pair of water pump pliers, right? These Cobras, I would go with the 10s. I believe these are 10s. Let's check that really quick. They might be 12s. Nope, they're 10s. Okay, so I would go with your 10s. Okay, the 10-inch water pump pliers are going to be the best overall if you just need one set. These are going to be a little too small, I would say, for most. You can get away with it, but they're going to be a little too small for a daily, everyday purpose plier. That's where your 10s come in. So go with your 10-inch water pump pliers or Cobras and your 10-inch pliers wrench. Get yourself some of these needle nose, and also if you want to be real sweet, you're gonna really want these twin grips. And am I forgetting anything? Yeah, probably. Let's see what other pliers we got here to talk about. That these guys, these are gonna save your butt. You're gonna have a rounded off bolt, something you can't get off, and those will save your butt. Obviously, diagonal cutters, those are gonna be a must. You're gonna need yourself a pair of diagonal cutters. But then again, Icon's quality. We already have some just rusting from sitting in the box, which is kind of crazy. 10-inch or more versatile, can complete 80% of tasks. Yes, exactly. That's a perfect way to describe it. I would really recommend these 5 pliers. I would get yourself these because these will save your butt. But these are like probably on the last. First, I would get yourself a set of needle nose and diagonal cutters. Is probably a good bet to get these two. And then you can get into your pliers wrench. Actually, man, this is hard to put this in order. Actually, now that I'm thinking about this, if you're gonna get first and foremost, I'd probably get these two. These two are probably gonna be the way to go when you're completing any of your tasks. Then you're gonna add these in here, and you're gonna add in your cutters. Your cutters can, those can come in all shapes and sizes. You can get cheap cutters to start off with and then upgrade to these later, or some better cutters. But probably these guys right here, and then you're really gonna want to throw in a pair of these water pumpers, and then last, you know, for your sixth and your last option, probably throw these in there just to save your day. One of the days when you have a rounded off fastener and you cannot get it off for the life of you with any of the other things that are offered and mentioned. So as far as my pliers talk, I think that is, yeah. So here's a good example. Those right there, you don't need those. Not if you just really like, you don't need to have these, right? Like, they're nice to have sometimes, but with no button, it's not preferable, you know. I do believe that your water pump pliers are going to make you way happier over time than having these style. And maybe you're gonna want to throw in a pair of these snubs. But again, look at what's happening to my pliers by sitting in the box. You know, do I need to oil? You know, I need to baby oil my pliers when they sit in the box. Like, look how gnarly they've gotten, and they've just been sitting in there. I haven't really used these too much. They probably had, I don't know, 5 uses, and they just sat because I don't really use these pliers that much. But the girlfriend has arrived. The girlfriend has arrived to the humble abode. Stream, do you guys want to talk and say hi to the girlfriend?
Oh.
We have a little bit of 128 peeps in here. 128.
Tell her to get that. That's funny.
And tell her to get out. What? Man.
I forgive you.
What I think everybody needs to do is they need to get themselves one of these icon ratchets right here and buy themselves one of these Tekton kits. And they need to go make themselves a stubby 3/8 flex head icon 3/8. Drop in a 3/8 anvil into it. There's a video on that on the channel. It's pretty cool, pretty sweet. But if you don't want to do it yourself, you can go buy one from Tekton for reasonable price. At $42, you can buy a Tekton 3/8 small body ratchet. It has some little clicks to set your position instead of just being a free floating head. I don't know if you choose that or if you don't want to choose that. You can even get the same price, but you can get a button for quick release on the back. I chose to get this for the slim because you're going for the most slim. I want a no button. But these small body 3/8 ratchets are really cool. The next one that's going to come up in the lineup is going to be the Koken. And I just don't have the I guess need for it right now, but it's also a very expensive $150 ratchet. So that is yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I know that the more people are flooding in the stream, but I really kind of want to focus more on quality over quantity with these streams rather than just talking and BS. When I'm having like a tool discussion, I really want to talk and give you guys the most pointers and everything, give you guys some snippets of what you can look out for and what you can't. And then as far as the videos, I'm trying to get more videos out to you guys. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys for all stopping by. Let's see, I'll read some comments before I go. I have every pair on the table, and I use the 8-inch the most when I need to get more power. 10s are enough. If it calls for a 10-inch or big wrench, it's got to be the big pipes, gas, etc. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, that's why I got them. I don't know. Do you guys have any uses for these 5s, or are they just kind of a niche, goofy one? Watch the space part of Beavis and Butthead do the universe. Shut up, we're busy. Nah, she's awesome. She's really cool. She likes to talk about tools and whatnot. This was a good one about Knipex versus Icon and Doyle. Let's see what else you guys got to say. Spam the chat. Ask your questions now because I'm gonna get some dinner here pretty shortly. I got to give it to the Knipex. Water pumps are so skinny, especially with dealing with the two fittings close together like airlines. Yeah, I'm probably with you on that one. If you need a slimmer ones, then the Knipex are the way to go. I mean, these things they're great. They feel great in the hand. The actions are really nice to use. I don't know, using these side by side with the Doyles, if I'm going to have a different uh, take on it later, but yeah. Knipex versus Icon Twin Grip. Ethan, you might not have been here. Let's see. We did have that talk and discussion. I'm going to, if money is off the table, I'm going to give it to the Knipex. It does. It does look more spongy. It is more rubbery. And the Knipex just feel better in the hands. Maybe, honey, can you come over here and tell me what you would prefer? Can you come over here and tell me what you would prefer real quick before we hop off?
Okay. So here are little tips to keep in mind that I don't know much.
Okay, she doesn't know tools, guys, but this is going to be a woman's perspective, and this will be fun for the last bit of the stream. Okay, so if you had these two pliers, I'm not going to tell you the pricing, but those two pliers, and make sure you're in the frame, though.
I don't know if I'm in the frame. Okay,
you're in the frame right now, yeah.
So these ones are heavier. These are light. I mean, I don't really know. Like, what should I be basing it off of? Like, feel, like
yeah,
the looks,
like
just like the feel?
everything. Yeah, feel, looks, taste, touch, smell,
Taste,
hearing.
touch, smell.
Like for example,
honestly,
this right here.
They kind of sound similar.
They sound similar.
Honestly, I feel like these ones. I mean, these feel like pretty top heavy up here. Like I feel like these ones are just gonna. I don't know. I like these ones because they're lighter. The feel of it's nice too. They're both of the grips are nice, but I mean, they're the same exact pliers, are they not?
Well, these are icons and these are Knipex.
Right. But like I'm saying the same thing in general, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like these ones better.
Yeah. Okay. So now, let's talk price. So these are $38. Okay. I think you can get these as low as 13.
These ones?
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure these are $20 and like 35% off or 40% off. So I think these come down to 13 and these are 38. And you don't really see, I don't really see giant sales on these like almost ever.
I was gonna say, I mean, honestly, for the price of it, like if you can ignore the top heavy part, then these would probably be the ones to go for. That's crazy.
So you would choose these ones?
Yeah, over that one. Like this one, just for the feel of it, they're both the same, like grippy. They're both
like
nice.
hold each one's like you're gonna use them though.
Okay.
Do you feel the difference between the grips?
These
ones,
I mean,
how much
these ones
thicker
have a
these
little
are?
bit more cushion on it, but like either way, it's still not like these are still a nice feel. Like it's not like something, I don't know, something that I'd really pick apart. But no, I mean, just for the price.
And also like mess with this right here, this action right here. You gotta play with this right here.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Okay, that's nice. See this one? Was it right here? Oh boy, no. Absolutely not. I feel like this one gets caught up so much more. Feel me? What? Absolutely not.
You think these are worse on the action?
Yeah, 100%.
I actually think they're smoother.
No way. This is so much better. This is ease.
Well, those are also a little bit broken in too, so you gotta give that a little bit of a pointer.
Not really.
I mean, I've used them probably.
This is so much better.
I don't know if it's broken in as 10 times usage or whatever, but yeah. So I guess that's her.
Hold on.
That's
you
her.
You blame the nails for the button, so let me try.
Yeah, I kind of saw that too.
I still feel like this one feels better though.
It's just because it's huge and.
Yeah.
Yeah, she smashed her finger in a car door. That's why her nails all destroyed. Because she's a klutzy.
It looks really gross. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, so show them. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah. So that's the stream, guys. Holy crap! There's 188 people in here. What's up, everybody? Let's read the comments before we head out of here. We gotta say, gets in small spots. Knipex versus Icon twin grip handle. Knipex look more comfortable in her hands with skinny grips. Helps a lot, especially if you're in close quarters and super tired at the end of the day. I blame the nails. Ouch. Attache.
Anytime, guys. If you ever want me to do any more
Thanks for
little
the
reviews,
review,
I got you.
wifey.
If you ever want me to do any more reviews, I got you.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you think? Okay, like here, what do you think about these versus?
And yeah, the finger thing really hurt. My nail is
I'm
actually
talking here.
coming up off. The finger thing really did hurt. It's actually coming up off. But...
Here.
Okay, we're
Alright.
gonna do one more review.
We'll do one more. So we got these. These are like the almost identical. These are Doyle, and these are Knipex.
Okay.
So just make sure
Already
make sure you're in frame.
Okay.
Stand like
Already,
right
I really like the feel of this one. This one compared to this one, like just the gripping. I mean, they both kind of feel like the same weight. I mean, this one, no, no, they really do feel about the same weight. Assuming that these, okay, these move up and down. Okay, gross finger. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. That one's not bad either. I feel like it kind of gets a little stuck on the ends. Oh. Yeah, I feel like it gets a little caught up on the ends there. This one, this is...
And like hold one in your hand like you're gonna use it. And then like make sure you use your dominant hand for that and then like feel it and then switch to the other one.
Alright, I'm squeezing. Okay. Yeah, still this one, 100%.
So you'd go with these?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you want to know price?
How much?
So 35.
Okay.
I think 35, and these are 13.
Oh yeah, obviously.
So you're basically getting 3 pairs of these for 1 pair of those.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So is it 3 times more? Like, is it 3 times better than these?
I mean, they're generally about the same. The only thing I had to complain about is like this one felt like it was getting caught up on the edge of it here. Let me retry one more time. We're just gonna. Okay.
I bet people were just like eating this up, laughing their ass off, watching you mess with tools that you can care nothing about.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, I mean, they're generally the same. There's not really much to compare. Like, I feel like just go with the cheaper ones because I feel like you're getting the same thing. The grip is much better in my opinion.
I don't know.
But see,
here's the thing is, right? People swear by these. Swear by them up and down, sideways. These ones,
but like, look at like just looking at this, like.
Well, look how much slimmer this one is, though.
But not only that, I don't know.
It's considerable.
Yeah, it is slimmer. I'm assuming that that's going to be easier for people to get in those little tight spots, but I don't know.
You got slimmer jaws on this one. You got bigger jaws on this one. You have a slimmer profile right here. You have bigger profile here, slimmer profile here.
Yeah, I could see that. I guess. Yeah, I could see how.
And
that
they
would
swear
have a
by
big
these
factor.
ones. They're like, I don't give a crap. Like, I'll pay this all day.
Okay, but why?
Yeah, that's a good question, guys. Why would you pay?
I'm just asking, like, if these are about the same. Like, I feel like these are genuinely about the same, except for the profile.
Vanless the Great.
But like, why would you swear by these if you can get almost the same exact thing?
Okay, so here Harbor Freight did a really good job on the Pliers copy, but the teeth hardness on the Knipex is incomparable. Light work, you probably won't see a difference, but heavy duty work, Knipex is top dog.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I have both. They're both awesome.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Genuinely, I feel like you're gonna. I mean, again, I don't do anything with tools, so I don't really know how well each of these work whenever you're actually using them in a real world situation. But
well, here's
just like doing some. Just doing. What am I doing with this?
I'm grabbing it.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, you want me to let go?
No. I mean, they're both. I don't know. I feel like they're both really good.
Is it too similar to make a cohesive decision?
Yeah, I really like the only difference noticeable. The only difference that I really see here is the profile. Now that you pointed it out, I didn't even look at that, but they're really they're genuinely the same thing. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I don't use these in a real world situation.
You said those knives are the best. I don't know what knives you're seeing there, but this is my first time here. I love this stream. Well, it was good. Yeah.
These are also bigger. Sorry.
It was good, and then she got home, and now it's way better. That's how it usually works. We have 210 people in here.
Hey, peoples.
Hey, peoples. How you doing?
Yeah, I got girl hands.
But yeah, it's like always.
A lot of nails.
Those are some soft hands. Now we're talking about soft hands. Yeah, look at that. Look at her hands. She does piercings all day. talk about soft hands. She
Yeah.
oils those things
Anyways,
with cocoa butter or something. Like, subscribe, and join the Discord, guys. If you guys want to be a part of the
Ooh, this
Discord
is
community, we're
nice.
building a Discord community that is like blue collar guys who just want to talk about tools and customer states. We have a channel for pretty much any trade, and it's just for guys to get together, share, laugh. If you guys have problems, we can all kind of talk about it, find tool deals together. So I know that a lot of the audience probably doesn't have Discord, in the blue collar space, but it's a good way for us to all get together and talk.
Nice.
But you don't push the button on that one.
I see.
But
Wow.
at the end of the day, they both help us make money easier. Yep, that's 100% true. And I think really whatever you go with, man, go with whatever makes you happy, is good for your pocket, and makes you money, and does the best job. At the end of the day, you're probably not going to. I know she really likes the little baby ones. But you know how much those ones are?
You think you told me it was like 30 something?
Yeah. So you think that for size, size matters, sure, but $35 on these little babies is craziness.
Can I ask what you're going to be using this for?
So no, you don't do that.
Oh
my goodness.
Right. I'm just like, right.
You pistol grip. So you grab like my finger right here. Ow, mother.
Sorry.
Ow. Jesus. That one did not feel good.
Sorry.
That thing has a lot of torque.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, these are nice. I like the what
I thought you were gonna grab the tip of the glove, not my whole finger.
Sorry.
Nice. So you have the little Knipex. Those long needle nose pliers from Icon have been on my top used this year. The versatility with those are awesome. Yes, and I will be getting the snap-on ones, even though they do. What are you doing?
I'm silent reviews.
You're just testing over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will be getting the snap-on ones because Icon does not make them in the smaller form factors. But yeah, that is a must. Getting the smaller ones, those ones are just they're great and they're amazing. But the snap-on ones, oh man, like this, I don't want to pick this up every single time that I'm using needle nose. I want to have something a little bit smaller. For example, excuse me. For example, these are the other needle nose from Icon, and look at how much smaller these are. I want to pick these ones up. And again, look at the rust that is accumulating on these tools. It's insane.
What?
I know. These are fairly new, and the rust is crazy. I don't know what they're using on this, or if I don't know. That's just, it's nuts. But either way, I would rather be picking these up in this form factor, which the Snap-on does have. So, all right, guys. I appreciate you guys all for stopping by. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. If you guys have enjoyed the live stream, please like and subscribe. And I hope you guys all a rest of your happy weekends. Happy belated Halloween. And please join the Discord community. If you do want to support our channel and you want to support the future giveaways, we do have a Patreon. I don't really have too much built on it yet, but it will be having limited only to Patreon content going up on Patreon soon. Limited deals, things I find, stuff like that. It's like $5. If you want to join for free, you can. But
I see some tools I like. What is your address?
Yeah, you can't steal my tools. But big news, guys! Big news! If you're not a part of the channel, you don't know the channel, that's cool. I don't expect you to know it because this is a live stream. But where is my Hyper Tough? Where's my Hyper Tough? Oh, where did it go?
I don't know. Let's find it.
Oh, right here.
Oh.
Okay, so guys, I was reached out to by. I made that silly video about this busting a lug nut off the truck. Okay, I made this silly video, and it ended up doing pretty well over TikTok and on YouTube. And Hyper Tough reached out to me. They actually reached out to me, and they said that they're going to send me like a care package.
Something fun, they said.
Yeah, they said something fun. I don't know what that exactly is going to mean.
Correct.
But very, very interested to see what that means. So stay tuned if you guys want to see what Hyper Tough sends me. I actually asked them also. I was like, hey, if you guys want to do like a collab and you guys send me some stuff to review, to talk about, I will absolutely do that. And you know, it's obviously, if they send it to me for free, I'm still going to give my unbiased review on it. I'm still just going to tell you guys how it is. If it sucks, it sucks. This impact actually extremely surpassed my expectations, and I got it for $17. Impact 2 amp hour battery and the charger for $17 from Walmart. So they saw the video and they reached out to me and they said they're going to send me something fun. I don't know what that could be or what that can mean, but I'm excited. And so if you guys like this content, stay tuned. There's more to come. If you guys want to support the channel, I don't have monetization on the channel yet, but you can go to the Patreon. It's in the community. What is it in? Where's my Patreon at? My Patreon link is in the rest of my links in my bio of the page. So if you guys actually do want to support the channel, all of the proceeds, I have to say this before I get off this. Okay, all of the proceeds from this channel are going back into the giveaways for this channel that are to come. Okay, that is the plan for this channel. I plan to become the Mr. Beast of the tool world and to give all of the money, reinvest it back into giving back to the blue collar workers, because that is who makes our communities and our country run, our countries. So I plan to give away all of the proceeds back into the channel and be doing consistent giveaways. As more that we blow this channel up and the more that you guys just watch the videos and consume the content, that all the money and the monetization is going to go right back into giving it back to you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. I'm really excited. We already had our first giveaway go out, but I have bigger plans, better plans, and I have a huge plans for this. So I plan at some point during this channel to be able to show up to a shop having a dad or something like that is struggling and their family's struggling, not have tools, but he's working in this profession, or maybe a kid that's working in this profession, mechanic or construction or something like that, and outfit him with his entire set of first tools, like a master set of whatever tools that he needs. So that's what the support is going into. So if you guys watch the content, if you hate the content, at least comment on it and just let me know that you hated it or whatever. All that engagement helps. It really does. So that being said, guys, I'm going to sign off for the night. I hope you guys all the rest of your weekend to be pleasurable and happy. Get some. I don't know how to say get some in a nice form, but get some of that good stuff. You know what I mean? The stuff that the girls give you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. All right, blue collar workers, I'm out. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. See y'all on the next stream or in the videos or in the comment section or in the Discord.
Okay.